I'm here at the University of Birmingham in the UK. In this country, about 1 in 10 people will use some form of complementary or alternative medicine at some point every year. And 1 in 2 of us will use it at some point in our lifetimes. This is a major social phenomenon, particularly in the UK, where we have access to modern biomedical healthcare free at the point of use. And most people have to pay out of pocket for their complementary or alternative therapies. In other parts of the world, traditional herbal or spiritual medicines are the mainstay of healthcare, particularly in remote or rural areas. And the World Health Organization has called for better understanding, better support and better regulation of these therapies. In Birmingham, as with other cities in the country, complementary and alternative health practices are everywhere. You can walk down to your high street and there'll be Chinese herbal medicine shops or health food shops. You can go to your gym and there'll be yoga classes. You can even download onto your smartphone apps for meditation. It's absolutely part of our culture, but it remains very controversial. Here at the University of Birmingham, our medical students are all encouraged to be familiar with complementary and alternative medicines. We were one of the first medical schools in the country to introduce this initiative, and it was pioneered by a medical sociologist, Professor Sheila Greenfield. This level of familiarisation is not about teaching medical students to use them, or indeed to recommend them, but to recognise that their patients or their future patients will be using them anyway, and they need to be able to engage knowledgeably and non-judgmentally.
It's right there in the 18th century when we see the emergence of the first hospitals in this country and in Europe. Quacks, as they were called, anybody who was an unorthodox practitioner, so not trained at university or through apprenticeship, they were a thriving part of the medical marketplace that existed in the 18th century. They developed ways of marketing pills, potions and nostrums in ways that medical practitioners or orthodox practitioners couldn't do. Some people built huge fortunes on selling these patent medicines, not just in this country but abroad. So somebody like Thomas Holloway first produced his universal ointment, which has that classic patent medicine name, and eventually when he dies in the 1880s, he's got a huge fortune and he's investing it in building the infrastructure of Victorian society.
We usually think about stuff like herbal remedies, stuff like that. I know, I mean, my family's from India, so, you know, we've always been brought up with kind of looking at kind of herbal remedies.
About Asia, especially China, or actually I'm from Korea, so you know it is associated with Korean traditional medicine.
Things that you get other than going to the doctors and having prescribed medication, so say like holistic or something similar.
My GP did once recommend acupuncture.
I have actually, more for like relaxation purposes and things rather than to treat any actual conditions. So like essential oils I've used to kind of try and relax.
I have tried acupuncture. I've had various Ayurvedic treatments over the years. Homeopathy, actually, when I was in high school for a bruise that somebody gave me with a hockey stick. I'm not quite sure what that was. Yeah, lots I would imagine over the years.
The paper itself is divided into 3 bits. The first part looks at the people. It looks at the users and the practitioners of these types of medicine. The second part of the paper looks at the big picture. It looks at why we're seeing these patterns of practice on a day-to-day level. What are the big things that are going on in the world that are affecting it? The final part of the paper looks at the big question, does it work? And it looks at ways in which sociologists have started to join this debate. You can find the paper in Sociology Compass, and it comes with an associated set of educational resources.